Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda again. It's Tuesday again, and I'm here again to bumble my way through another Facebook Live. I am still learning stuff. Last week, I learned that that little number up at the top means the number of people here in the Facebook Live with me. So that's really good to know because, oh, and someone has joined me. So hello, welcome. I know that little number up at the top now means the number of people that have joined me, so that's kind of cool. So even if you don't say hello to me, I know that someone is there, and I've got another person that has joined. So, yay! So today is Casing Tuesday, as you may know by now. It's a day when we take a card out of the catalog, any of the current catalogs, and we case it. This blog post that we do was started by one of my downline, Catalina, and you can see her blog post at Catalina's Cards. And we take a card, we alternate picking a card out of the catalog, and we take it and we case it. And casing means that we copy the card and we change some things about it, usually. Now, you don't have to change anything about it. Sometimes it's fun just to copy a card just like it is in the catalog because we learn a lot from doing that. I tend to want to change something just to challenge myself, just to see what else I can create with it. So today's card is out of the annual catalog, and you might hear some background noise. I hope it won't get too loud. They actually just pulled up with a big truck right at the time that this Facebook Live started with a digger. So who knows what we're gonna have? Well, maybe we'll take a peek out there later. But the card that we're casing is out of the annual catalog, and let me pop over to the place where I have my annual catalog. Let's have a look. Okay, let me switch this around. Okay. So here is page 39 of the annual catalog, and we're going to be casing this card. Actually, all three of these cards have the same layout. And if you notice, they are made with the current in colors. Actually, these are the 2016-2018 in colors, and they will be around for another year. I made the card, let me scoot this over here, with the retiring in color, Watermelon Wonder. It's going to retire in just a couple months. So if you like the current in colors, the ones that are ending in 2017, now is a good time to get your re-inkers and card stock so that you can continue to use those colors, because they tend to sell out at the end of April. And so this is the card that I made, and it is totally out of my comfort zone. I tend to do cards that have images in them, and these cards are, this card does not have an image, so it can be a little bit more difficult for me. So I'm going to show you how I made it, and maybe if anyone is here that wants to say hi, I hadn't decided what color to do this card in, and I can do it in either Delightful Dijon, Watermelon Wonder, which was the card that I did here. I can do it in Cucumber Crush, Mint Macaron, or Tip Top Taupe. If any of you have a preference on the card that I make, speak up now or forever hold your peace. So if you have a color preference using the 2016-2018 in colors, hi Janine. If you have a color preference, speak now. Okay, the colors again are Delightful Dijon, Cucumber Crush, Mint Macaron, Tip Top Taupe, or I could do the Watermelon Wonder one again. Hello Janine. All right, I'm going to pop this thing in my little holder here so that I can go hands-free. Oh, just hold on one second. I need to pop this in like this. All right, so this is the card we're going to be making. So to start off with, I need my little scrap piece of cardstock, and we're going to be doing the stamping first. So we're going to be creating this little focal point right here. And to do that, we're going to use, this is a stamp set. It's called the Designer Tin of Cards, and it's a stamp set that if you don't have the Designer Tin of Cards kit, you might not even know about this stamp set because it might not be on your radar, but it has some really great greetings. So we're going to be using the thanks to you out of that. And okay, I'm going to pick a color since no one has chimed in. I am going to pick, let's do Cucumber Crush, just as a contrasting color, and it's nice and bright. So we'll do Cucumber Crush, and I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it on my scrap piece of Whisper White like that. And then we're going to need the Big Shot to cut it out. And let me scoot this in here. Here's my Big Shot. I've got my layering circles, and I've got the stitch shape framelits. So let me scoot this way. I'm using my magnetic platform because I like my magnetic platform. It helps hold the dies in place. And we're going to need the 4th largest circle from the layering circles. And if you guys don't know the layering circles, they come with scallop circles and smooth circles. So that's kind of neat. So I'm just going to center that around my greeting. That looks good. And then I'm going to use the 2nd largest stitched shape framelits, the circle, and I'm just going to put that beside there because I just need a plain Whisper White circle. And then I'm just going to run these through, just like that. Okay, my Big Shot's squeaking a little bit, but that just means it's well loved. So there are my 2 circles. And what I can do already is I'm going to take some Tombow and I'm going to glue them together right away. I hope this Tombow's, I'm about to need a new bottle, but I refuse to start a new bottle until, okay, one of these 2 works better than the other. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to layer this on here. Hello, Kathy. Good morning. Oh, you're all the way from New Jersey. That's cool. How is it in New Jersey? Do you have nice weather today? Got that snow last week, which I wasn't really too excited about. So then let's add this ribbon part. This is probably the hardest part of the card, is getting this ribbon to look right. So I've got some of the Cucumber Crush ribbon. And I'm going to cut about 4 inches. I think that's about 4 inches. I've got 3 inches of my sequin trim in the silver. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, and I'm going to cut it like it is over here. So I'm just kind of matching up that design on an angle. Then I'm going to, oh, Janine says she does the same thing with her glue, uses it right to the end. I know, I refuse to start a new bottle until that has been used up, and I've got 2 on the go. I don't know why I have 2. Usually I only have 1, but I have 2 on the go, and I want to finish them up before starting a new bottle. So what I did with the 3-inch piece of silver sequin, I just kind of layered it on top of the ribbon. So now the key is we want to get this stuck down on here before we put the circle onto the card. So I'm just going to kind of layer this on here, just trying to make it look somewhat okay. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to put a staple in here. That's something I hardly ever do. I don't do staples a lot. And we actually don't sell this stapler anymore, but I know most of you will have a stapler at home. So I'm just going to come in here and staple this like that. So this little piece of sequin trim is just kind of supposed to hang there like that. We'll play with the sequins once they're on the card and get them to look right. but there's my little piece. Now, one thing I did on my card that you can't see on the back, where did I put my masking tape? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what I did, I kind of did a little cheater thing. Kathy says it's overcast. Just waiting for snow to melt. I know, the snow, we have some snow out here, especially on the streets. It was a really weird snow, and it was wet and heavy, and it kind of turned out chunky, and so I think it's going to take a while to melt. Anyway, back to the card. I've got a piece of masking tape, and I'm just going to masking tape this down to the back of my card. Because I'm going to layer this up on dimensionals, there's not going to be a lot holding this in place except that one little staple. So I thought, where are my scissors? I'm just going to trim this little piece off here. I thought if I masking tape this down to the back of the circle, it's not going to shift accidentally because those dimensionals will not really pin this piece down very well. So that was my little trick that you can't see on the back side of that. So then we're going to take a piece of thick Whisper White because it makes far better card bases than just the thin regular Whisper White. So, oh, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you think it's pretty. So this is our thick piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, and I've cut it to 8.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and I'm going to fold it in half along the score line. Now, this is a square card, and if you're going to mail this, you need to mail this in, if you're going to do a square envelope, it needs to be at least 5 by 5 inches to be mailed by U.S. Post. So if you make an envelope, you're going to, for this card, in this size, you're going to need to make it a little bit larger than the actual card. So next thing we need is we're going to bring back our Cucumber Crush ink pad. And okay, I love the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set. I don't use it enough, but I love it just for that background splash of color. And I noticed in these cards here, there was just a little bit of speckling of color in the back, and I don't know how they did that, but it kind of got me thinking that it needed a little bit of speckling. So that's why I have mine speckled. I'm going to need a piece of scrap paper or something to stamp off on, because for this card here, I didn't do the ink full strength. I thought that was a little much. Oh, when I take a breath, can I say the card measurements again? Yes, of course I can, Janine. So I started off with an 8.5 inch by 4 1/4. So this is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then I scored in half at the 4 1/4 inch mark. I will have the measurements on my blog. Actually, they're already there for this card. So you can get 2 cards out of an 8.5 by 11. That's why I chose those particular measurements, because if I had gone any wider, like for the square card, then I would have had to use a full sheet. So that's kind of why I decided to do it in that measurement. Okay, so let me stamp the front of this card. And I've got my, this is the Speckly stamp out of Gorgeous Grunge. And I'm just going to ink this up in the Cucumber Crush, and I'm going to stamp it off once. And then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to kind of stamp it on an angle like that. So it's just a little bit lighter than full strength, but it just provides kind of that little splash of color. So then we just need to take our little piece, and I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of here. So maybe like 4 dimensionals, and remove the backings. I have no fingernails. I'm always admire the people that do YouTube videos that have beautifully manicured nails. And I don't, and I'm sorry about that, but if I did my nails, I wouldn't be able to do as many video tutorials, so there you go. I think I'd rather do more video tutorials than do my nails. So then I'm just going to kind of see where I want this. That looks good. And now let me fix the little sequin trim, because until you get it on the card, you don't know how long you want it. So I'm going to pull off a couple of the sequins so it doesn't dangle too far off my card. And then I need to cut this just a little bit shorter. You want to leave a little bit of length on your sequins because otherwise they'll fall off really easily. So I always leave a little bit hanging off the end. And then I'm going to pull one off of here too. Okay. So I like the way that looks. You know, with each card you do, it's probably going to look a little bit different, but I'm just trying to mimic the card design. And then we just need some little bling rhinestones. I'm going to use a medium rhinestone. I'm going to pop it over here. I'm going to take a small rhinestone and pop it up here. And I always like to use my paper piercing tool because it's easy to transfer those rhinestone embellishments with a paper piercing tool. And then I'm just going to take one more medium rhinestone and pop it over here. And that's it. Those are the cards. And so I want to see what you guys can do with these cards, with this particular design. And if you'd like to share with me, you can join our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. I'm going to post the link in the comments. It's hard for me to edit the description of the Facebook Live for some reason, so I'm going to post it in the comments. And if you would like to join us, please go ahead and do that, and then you can share your card made using this as your template or your starting point. I would love to see what you make. I will have a supply list. I already do on my blog. I have a supply list for this blog. I'm also going to post the link to my blog on the video description. If you want to order any of the products you see here from me, you can do so right from my Stampin' Up! Store, right on my blog. It's the last 10 days of celebration. So they've added 7 new products today, 7 new products that you can earn. And so that's a really cool thing. Take a look at that. I'm going to be posting on my blog more information about that. And so just look on the video description, or if you're looking at this on Facebook, look in the comments, and I will post all the links to everything that I mentioned here. So that's it. That is my Facebook Live today. Let me flip this around for a moment. So, you know, those cards, they were really out of my comfort zone. I tend to do cards that have a really clear image focal point. So for me to do this card today, it's a really great challenge to do something different, because we tend to create cards that are in our comfort zone. So, you know, if you look at this card and you're thinking, I don't really know about it, you know, challenge yourself, try it, see what you can do with this layout. Oh, I'll show you a card, just hold on. I'll show you a card that I made. Just let me flip you around again. Here we go. I'm going to show you a card that was my reject card. How's that? It's not an ugly card. It's just, I don't know, it just didn't make me happy. Like, it was kind of the same design. I haven't actually smoothed it down with my bone folder, so it's kind of popping open. So you can kind of see that, I mean, it's kind of the same, but I don't know, I created it and it just didn't quite look right for some reason. So I just kept going and I tried to make another one. So you could actually use an image as the focal point, but I don't think my secondary choices were really good for backing it up. I don't know if I like this strip back here that I chose. So, oh, and one other thing that I did do is I did actually create an envelope for this little guy. And if you create an envelope, we don't sell square envelopes right now, but you can use the envelope punch board. And I used, let me see, if you look on here, you've got little measurements, and I used the one that says a 5 by 5 because that is the minimum size for US Post mailing. So I did the card size, I said it was 5 by 5, and so it created this envelope. So this one could go in the mail, and it's a little bit bigger than this card, so you'll have to kind of reconcile yourself with that. Or you could put this card in a regular medium-sized envelope too, except of course it will be a little bit long. So there's that. When I do a card or an envelope out of designer series paper like this, what I do is I take Avery labels and I put them on the front so I can write the address of the recipient and put my return address on there. So that helps a little bit with visibility if you can use some white Avery labels. But there you go. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Before I go? Okay, outside today, we've just got melting snow. I can show you that. So there is the Charles River. You can see in the background we still have snow on the banks of the other side of the river. We've got snow in the corner, but what happened on the roads is it got like all piled up from the snow plows, so it's really hard to walk right now. And then if you look out this window, I've got the curtains closed right now because it was going to be, and there's the screen over here. So they're loading a digger. I don't know if you can see that in the background. They've loaded a digger. The foundation has been poured, so I don't know what they're going to do today. There's still a lot of snow. Oh, and thank you, Janine. I'm glad you liked the card. So I hope you recreate it. It's kind of a cool card. Like, you could use whatever thank you want on it. So if you need the measurements, I will have those posted on my blog post. So anyway, myself back around. Thank you so much for joining me. Please join our Facebook Casing Tuesday Facebook group and show me your card. I would love to see it and comment on it. So I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.